He's the man, he's the myth, he's the legend, he's the scientist with all the answers to all your questions. It's time for another episode of Alex's Science Corner.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'm slow. We have to take this.
Okay. What's going on in the wide, wide world of science, my friend?
All right, so first story I'm going to talk about is, looks like they may have discovered another planet orbiting the star closest to our sun. The star is Proxima Centauri. It is 4.2 light years away. And this is the second planet that they think they've discovered around this star. Now, it's big news because the star is the closest star to our sun. And I use that reference because the closest star to us is our sun. And this planet, they're suspecting, is smaller than Neptune but larger than Earth. They're referring to it as a super Earth, but it may be just a small gas giant. And so they're recently discovered. Now, one of the things I'm saying also is you notice I'm saying a lot of qualifiers. They're not really sure that they've found this planet. They've got really good indications, enough that they published a paper, and now in about 2-3 years of gathering more data.
The data, yeah.
Yeah, other people analyzing the data, they're hoping to verify that they found something.
So you just answered my question. So I was going to say, is this like a life-supporting planet?
Right now, they are putting it in the position of no, because it's so far out, they're expecting it to be super, super cold. If it's a rocky planet, they don't expect it to have any serious atmosphere on it. If it's not a rocky planet, then it would be a gas giant, which is, at the moment, we don't suspect there's any life on the gas giant.
And can you remind us all which planet of our solar system is a gas giant?
That's Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus.
Okay.
Are gas giants in our solar system.
Okay.
Mars,
so there's more than one.
Mars, Earth, Venus, and Mercury are not gas giants. They're all rocky planets. And then you've got a lot of moons that we think might be able to harbor life because they have liquid water underneath them, like Europa and, dang it, I forgot the name, Enceladus.
Okay.
Are moons that have liquid water underneath them. And on some probes, we've seen that there is organic molecules coming out. We just don't know if there's actually life underneath the ice.
Okay.
But back to this planet, again, they're trying to verify it. One of the things they did do is by monitoring the star, they've figured out that there's certain places there are no planets around it. Because if you have a planet of this size at this distance, the star would act this way. And it's not acting that way. So we know there are no planets like that in this distance. But they do have indications, strong indications, but not proof indications, that we've got a planet of this size orbiting Proxima Centauri. And this is the second planet that's been found. Now, this one is
around this star.
Around this star.
Okay.
The first planet is known to be a rocky world and is actually within the range where you could possibly have liquid water on a planet. So the first planet they found is a potential harbor of life. This one is unlikely to be, but they are interested because if it is a gas giant, the star is going to look a little closer to our solar system, with rocky worlds on the inside and gas giants or larger worlds on the outside.
And just the way they figure out that there's another planet is they see a shadow crossing the star.
There's a couple of different ways.
Oh, okay.
That's one way. The other way is when a planet circles around the star is tugged back and forth as the planet spins around it. And as that star gets tugged back and forth, the light is shifted red and blue. As the planet is coming toward us, the light of the star is shifted into the red spectrum. As the planet is sweeping away from us, the star's color is shifted towards the blue. And it's a very sensitive measurement, but we're able to measure that.
That's something fairly new?
Well, I mean, we've had this for a couple of decades. It's just that in the past decade or so, this is one of the methods that they are able to use.
Okay.
And so as the star is bouncing back and forth, its color is shifting. And by that color shifting, they can determine if it has planets around it.
Okay.
Next story. If you remember a few months ago, I was talking about how the dinosaurs passed away. And the story that we had talked about was around the time that the Chicxulub asteroid hit the Earth, 65 million years ago. There was also a set of volcanoes that erupted in the Deccan Traps in India. There's suspicion because those two events happened within a million years of each other. The various researchers who are studying this are trying to figure out which happened first.
Oh, they don't know.
Now, there was a good suspicion, and I talked about this a couple months ago. Some researchers said, okay, because of the shock waves, the Deccan Traps happened after the asteroid hit.
You remember talking about that.
This set of research coming out now is saying that it looks like the Deccan Traps happened before the asteroid hit, and that the effects of the enormous amount of gases released from this massive volcanic outpouring that happened in India, that the gases that came out from that were subsiding and were starting to be reduced when the asteroid hit. So,
And those gases are what killed the dinosaurs? Is that what they're saying?
no, but I'll get to that in a moment.
Oh, okay.
So one of the people who are researching this, the paleontologists, know that the effects that the dinosaurs were affected by two things. One is definitely the asteroid that hit. But the question then is, if the Deccan Traps happen afterwards, you've got this massive ecological disaster of the asteroid, and then you have all the CO2 and other gases that came from the volcanoes that came up on the other side and kind of finished off the dinosaurs on the other side of the planet. On the other hand, if the Deccan Traps happened before the asteroid, the ecological effects of these volcanoes would have changed the environment so that they did not kill the dinosaurs, but they reduced the environment and weakened the environment so that when the asteroid hit, the asteroid had a much easier time of finishing off the dinosaurs because the environment was under stress or trying to recover from the stress of the Deccan Traps. And so
you would
what
think
these,
in a million years, though, if it's a million years between the two events, that
yeah,
the
but
Earth
the thing
would have
is, I'm saying
recovered.
within a million years, 100,000 years, tens of thousand years, the Deccan Traps was an event that lasted a long time.
Okay.
For us humans, 10,000 years is unbelievably long. For geology, that's nothing.
Okay.
So for the dinosaurs, the ecological disaster of one and both events affected the dinosaurs. They're just trying to figure out which of the events happened first. And what these researchers found is they were checking the CO2 levels, and they found there's this massive increase of CO2 before the asteroid hit.
Okay.
And
And
then
that's why
that-
they're saying.
Right. And then the CO2 and the other gases that come from volcanoes, they saw it being reduced and going down. So the Earth was recovering from the effects of these volcanoes. During that recovery process, that's when the asteroid hit.
Okay.
Okay. And this is one of the things about science. This is, new information is coming out. It's always, okay, we've learned something new. Let's apply it and figure out where we go on from here. And, there's researchers that said that the shock waves caused the Deccan Traps. These guys saying the Deccan Traps happened before. At the moment, we're going to let the guys who know this argue it out and figure out what's going on. But it's always an ongoing process.
We got to talk about time machines because that's what they're going to need is something to go back in history. Anyway.
Okay, I think that's a wrap.
Anyway.
Well, Brian's just calling an audible on that one.
We can talk about time machines off air.
Yeah, or when we go into the movie portion. of it.
Right. All right. Anything else to add, Alex?
No. Any
All
other
right.
questions about this?
Well, did some of the creatures that we have alive today seem to be from dinosaurs? Some of the lizards and stuff. No,
Right.
Do they think some kind of
The quick description of that was anything over 50 kilograms in weight passed away.
Okay.
So any of the smaller creatures, anything that could survive in the reduced environment, small creatures, was able to survive.
Okay.
And those are the creatures that evolved into
To what we have
everything,
modern
yes.
day. Okay.
Our
lizards
modern
and-
day ecosystem.
Okay.
That's why you don't see a brontosaurus down the Everglades.
No, we don't.
No.
Do we?
All right. So if you have any questions about these science stories or anything else science related, you can give Alex a call right now at 203
837
99.
24.